guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackie and Judd on SKOR North and SKORNorth.com.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
We're getting down there, boys. This is the tightest with 2 weeks to go in the Write That Down season, Super Bowl to Super Bowl. This is the tightest we've ever seen the batting average and home run races. It's be crazy these next 2 weeks. Curious to see what the strategy are. Are we going to be squaring around to bunts, pushing predictions into the future, facing it head on? If I know this group, there's going to be some singles and bunts mixed in here in the next couple weeks.
Yep. And we'll probably fight.
Yep. We'll argue about whether the prediction should be allowed on the board, ethically, morally. So, this is the only show in America. This is the OG edition that goes back about a decade. And then we have the football edition on Purple Daily every Wednesday. This is where we admit we're wrong. If you're ever wondering, when's Judd, when's Mackie, Dex, they never admit they're wrong. No, we do. Probably more than anyone else. And we put statistics next to these things like idiots. It's quite the segment. It's 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting averages and home runs here. On the football version, it's completion percentage and touchdowns. And listeners, if you want to participate, like Wyatt and Nate are about to here in a few minutes, you can send Declan a message through the SKOR North app. So, everybody was separated by maybe 20 or 25 points, 1 through 4 in batting average. The home run race was, I think, 2 home runs separating 1 through 4. Let's start with Judd. Let's see what this says here.
And the suspense. Come on. Flip the page.
Sorry, I don't know why it's like, is it frozen? There we go. Okay.
Oh
no.
Uh-oh, Judd.
Go back.
Judd's like, go back.
No, you know what? It's okay. It's not like I was in first place. I was in last place, so.
Oh, okay. All right.
You said the Bills would play the Lions in this year's Super Bowl.
Yeah, half right, don't count. I was wrong.
This isn't horseshoes or hand grenades. This is Write That Down. You said there'd be a story or a credible report that the Twins would be in on the bidding for Roki Sasaki.
They met with his agent.
Dodger. Are you going to fight for that?
They met with the agent. They didn't get one with the player.
Were they in on the bidding?
I don't think they were in on the bidding.
I just saw that they met with the representative.
What's the point of that meeting?
Oh, who
knows? What?
Who knows?
I guess.
You know what? There's a little. They're having a little shindig on Friday. I'll ask Derek Falvey. Were you in on the bidding? Judd needs to know. Write that down.
Ask him verbatim. What was the point of that meeting?
Yeah.
What was your plan? Hey guys. Sounds good. I see the price tag now. It's like when you walk into a store or something. Dex and I are Vegas guys. So you walk around and like, oh, there's some nice stores in here. Oh, the swim shop here at, Aria. I'll maybe get some swim trunks for pool day. $700.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. But you were in on it.
I walked into the store.
You considered it.
Right. Look,
like you thought about it.
Did I pay $25 for like a dozen piece of diced up pineapple in Hawaii from the general store? You're damn right I did. I did walk in and I paid an absurd amount of money to sit at the pool and eat cubed pineapples. Yes, that did happen.
Judd said Cliff Kingsbury would be the next coach of the Chicago Bears. And you said in 2025, Glenn Perkins will be a full-time analyst, Twins TV or radio. Well, they announced their TV plan, and Morneau's like the featured guy.
Yep,
glad he's back on the radio.
Yep. No, you're right.
If you're looking for some like 80s, early 90s baseball nostalgia, A, apparently Rob Deere has a podcast, and B, Dan Gladden joined him and told a bunch of stories about the 80s and 90s.
He told him about the Lombardozzi fight, which he actually told the story on our show back in the day.
Yep.
That's
right, Rob Deere.
Yep. So we had it first, Rob Deere. Lombo drove out there. It's just a great story. Glad he goes out and beats him up.
Okay, I had kind of a bad week here, too. I said I got a little out of my lane. I got cocky with a college hockey prediction.
Like so late in the game, I was really surprised.
Yeah,
I was showing off a little bit. The Write That Down karma gods.
Didn't wear a helmet.
I said the Gopher men's hockey team would not lose to Notre Dame this past weekend. They lost in overtime in the Second game. I said in a parlay, the Wolves would get revenge on the Knicks. Donte DiVincenzo would have at least 3 3-pointers. Well, he didn't even play because of the turf toe. Yeah. I said in football, Notre Dame would win the national championship.
They rallied a little bit.
They did.
I will say that because they were getting their asses handed to them.
Dude, my guy Marcus Freeman, I don't know what he was thinking kicking a field goal. I know it was like fourth and they had to get like 6 or 7 yards and they probably weren't going to score, but and then the guy doinks the field goal and kind of ended it. I said Lamar Jackson would win MVP and the Ravens would make the Super Bowl. I did tell you the Bears would interview Brian Flores, though. They did. Sneaky. Interview Brian Flores, get a bunch of information on the Vikings and that confusing defense, and then hire somebody else from a division rival, and then get all the information from the Lions by hiring Ben Johnson.
Sneaky, but legal.
Yep.
Not cheating.
Okay, listeners. We'll start with Sam said the Wild, and the Timberwolves would hit the under in the goals and points categories for their games last Wednesday. Well, the Wolves and Warriors went like 15 points past the 215. Can't remember what the Wild Oilers were at, but
I think it was like 7 or 8 goals, right?
So he was maybe 0 for 2 here. Sam said all the home teams in the divisional round would advance. Royce said Tibbs would be fired by February. Another win last night for the Knicks.
His guy, Tibbs. He loves Tibbs.
I guess there's still 9 days to go before this deadline, so something terrible would he'd have to like,
no,
I don't know, physically assault Jalen Brunson or something. Mike said Kevin O'Connell would reference a SKOR North show or segment of the show on the record sometime this season. He did acknowledge Judd.
Yep.
But that's not...
That's not,
I think it's wrong.
Nope, it's wrong.
Because he's not referencing like Purple Daily.
Yeah, no, and I would say, and Judd, I would hope you'd honor this, if he were to reference something to you off the record, if he volunteered something to you, I do think that would still count. But
he said on the record.
Yeah, he's saying
Mike says
on the record. Shoot,
at a microphone, and he did not. That's absolutely correct.
So wait, so KOC could have pulled Judd aside and said, "Hey, Judd, off the record, write this one down, and give you a scoop."
Yep. predict that there are multiple teams that are going to call the Vikings about trading for me, and then I would have had the Glazers scoop, and you all would have hated me. Sports Dad, imagine that. Man.
But then Jake came in here and said, "This is a should say touchdown, not home run here." But he said the Vikings, the Packers, and the Lions would all make the playoffs, but none of them would advance to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
pretty impressive. I mean, he made this kind of halfway through the season.
No, I agree.
So they were all kind of tracking to make the playoffs, but for none of them to make the Super Bowl.
Nice job, division.
On top of that, nice work, Jake. And then, Declan had 3 things off the board. Julius Randle would drop 30 in a game sometime in the last week. Did he even score 30 combined points in their 3 games?
That's a great question,
Phil. He was awful in Memphis.
Parker Romo, or John Parker Romo, as some of us still call him, will kick for the Ravens at some point this season or in the playoffs. And Billy Wagner would get into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Which he did yesterday.
Those stats are insane. His statistics, it took him 10 tries with legitimately some of the best statistics of all time from a left-hander. And it took him 10 tries.
Mm-hmm.
It's absurd.
Absolutely. So what made him more of a Hall of Famer this year than 8 years ago?
Last year, he was great.
Yeah, he just...
Closing games left and right.
Oh, I see. I got you.
Last season, he's closing games for teams. Red Sox, Dodgers. He just bounced around.
Especially as like a 55-year-old. It's crazy. However old he is.
Yeah, I think it was more of like some people on the ballot, each year like, well, this person deserves it more his first couple years on the ballot.
There's still too many ballots, you guys. It's that simple. Like
who didn't vote for Ichiro? We need to smoke him out.
But that's the point. As much consternation as Phil caused a few years back when they trimmed the ballots, and I think they basically said if you have not covered baseball in the last 5 to 10 years, your ballot is going to be taken away. Which is, by the way, the right call. They need to take more ballots away. You don't need this many people voting.
It's funny you brought that story up because I did run into Steve Ashburner at a Wolves game, NBA.com. Steve Ashburner, longtime NBA, right? Yeah, awesome dude,
colleague of mine, former colleague,
and colleague of Judge, been a friend of mine, and I ran into him at Target Center. No, we're fine. But what happened was I used him as not to crap on him, but I used him on the radio as an example of, like Steve Ashburner, for instance. He's been covering the NBA for like 20 years, and the Baseball Writers Association still gives him a vote. I didn't mean it to like trash on Steve.
It's not how it worked.
But yeah, he heard that. He was like, I know what I'm looking at. I don't. Yeah. Yes.
And he's like, I research it, you jackass. My point is, let's just take away, let's not have, when you have this many ballots out, you're going to have this problem every single time almost.
So we're going to be launching a new podcast where we just complain about baseball and processes and voting and everything.
Let me vote.
Great. Oh, wait, it's called the SKOR North Twin Show. We already have it.
Hall of Fame show.
My ballot tomorrow on the SKOR North Twin Show.
Yeah, you got some time.
So, okay, on the season with 2 weeks to go here, Declan 316, I'm at 309, Judd 295, listeners 293.
Okay.
I will admit that there was a listener one that did not get marked correctly. Like I marked it. It was a win that should have been like an L or something. So the numbers are adjusted correctly now, but listeners are at 293. Listeners lead the home run battle with 14. I have 13. You guys each have 11. So it is still anyone's game here.
Was I in last place last week then? I feel like I was in last place.
Very slightly, yes.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Here I come.
So everyone's still got a shot here. And then career, by the way, the listeners are 1 home run shy of 70 career home runs. Declan still leads 352 career batting average. I'm 1 hit shy of career hit 300, a prestigious mark here that only Judd has hit in the history of this. Let's get Nate and Wyatt in the mix here. Jumping in on Write That Down. Gentlemen, nice little basket weaving background you guys got going on there.
Yeah. That's actually I rent from my parents, and I grew up overseas in Kenya, and this is just Kenyan decor. So
love it. Cool. Love it. So yeah, what give us your backgrounds as Minnesota sports fans.
Okay, so I'm 23, and I didn't start following Minnesota sports till probably like religiously until I came to college, which was in 2020. But I followed Minnesota sports since I want to say 2015. And I think my marquee memory, though, would be waking up, because like the time difference is like 8 hours, waking up and seeing that the Vikings won the divisional round in 2017. I knew they won, but I didn't know how they won. Yeah. And my teacher at school, he's like, you need to go watch the highlights right now. I don't care if you skip class. You need to go watch the highlights right now. And I think seeing that was like, I think I was just like, what just happened? Like, I didn't know what happened. And it took, because like the highlight video, it's the last play in the highlight video.
Yeah.
I was like, when is this happening? When is this big moment happening?
Dude, the end of that game broke a lot of our brains because we had never seen anything like it's the other way around where it's the end highlight is the devastating thing. Yeah. And then of course they celebrate for 2 days.
And you're like, they're blowing it. What are you talking about? The second half is terrible. The Vikings are pissing this game away. What are you talking about?
Well, I was kind of shocked. I went back to my teacher that day. I was like, why did you have to tell me that? That was horrible. Like I wanted to see that myself. So, but yeah.
Love it. Wyatt, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of grew up in Minnesota my whole life, but big hockey guy. Loved the Wild and stuff. My probably core memory of like just all Minnesota sports is probably the divisional round Minneapolis Miracle. I remember we were at my dad's friend's house and we're all just jumping up and down, going crazy when Diggs caught that pass. It was nuts. But next week was not so fun. That was bad. It was like all this for nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I told my friend last night that it was about the Eagles. I was like, I didn't want the Eagles to win because I'm still petty about that game, and that's the only reason I hate the Eagles now. Like, but I think it's just being a petty Minnesota fan. So
No, it's bad. And you've heard from other fan bases too. It's like they're just, and people celebrate how awful they are as fans and violent and weird, and they're just, I don't know. They're always going to be the villains to Minnesota fans until the Vikings do something about it. They had it, man. They had a chance. I thought they were going to have a little rematch this year, but to wait. Yeah. Wait for JJ McCarthy to do it. So we'll start. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to start with Wyatt and Nate, and then over to Judd, Declan, and then back to me. We'll make 3 trips around the room. So are you guys making just separate predictions for the first couple, and then
Yep.
do it however you want to. Fire away.
Write this down.
All right. The first prediction, it's a hockey prediction. It's the Wild will make the playoffs, but lose in the first round in Game 6.
Oh, wow.
Again.
Where have we seen that script before? Yeah.
I thought about adding a little bit more, but I'm like, ooh, that's pretty
good.
They'll fall off the record. They'll fall down either 3-0 or 3-1, show a little life, and then
I think they're going to win games, and they always do that.
Yes, they do. I was just thinking the same thing. The Wild takes the lead. What's going to happen? Oh, boy.
I know.
So they need to lose the first game to break the pattern, and then they come back.
They also need to start on the road because this season in particular, they are a superior road team to a home team.
Right.
So you don't want home ice. At the X, they're just meh, and on the road they've been fantastic. So
yeah, he took me in my first hockey game this year, so I don't understand hockey worth a darn. So like,
you're just there to drink and watch guys skate around. Basically.
Yeah, no, it was so funny though because it's like when they scored though, the bullhorn goes off, and I'm like, this is a lot. Like to me, it was anticlimactic in a way. But then this, because what was it again? The Winnipeg Jets, they won in overtime, right?
No, that was the Maple Leafs.
That was the Maple Leafs, and that was insane to see them win in overtime. That was fun. But like the first 2 goals, I was like, this is kind of boring. But then it got into it. So
yeah, playoff hockey is a different. It's kind of crazy how different the sport is and
Write this down.
The energy. All right.
This
we're staying over here, right? Are you guys going back-to-back predictions, or
we can go around the room again?
We can just go around.
Or I can give my prediction now if you want.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Mine's a Timberwolves parlay. I'm a diehard Wolves fan. I'm more of a Wolves fan than I am anything else. I think Julius Randle is going to be gone by the trade deadline, or Rudy Gobert will no longer be a Timberwolf by the end of next trade deadline. Rudy Gobert, like on the Flagrant Howls episode you guys did yesterday, I was complaining like when Gobert made that awful pass down to Jaden on the baseline. I'm not kidding you. I threw pillows across the room. I was like, at least Cat makes it softer. Rudy just boom. Like, why? He's open. Stop this. I hate Rudy right now.
And next time, it's going to be a damn glass that's going to fly across the room.
If he throws it off the glass on a pass, I'm going to lose it. I actually will lose it. So
it's kind of funny when Rudy will start to get in the flow and feel himself a little bit, and it's like, dude, you're 32, man. Just stay in your lane. But you can see his eyes get wide, and there's a wide open driving lane here. It's like, yeah, it's wide open for a reason, man. They don't expect you to do anything.
Yeah.
All right, Judd.
I think he's gone by then.
Write this down.
All right, this will come off the board on Friday. So the Twins Hall of Fame now rotates between off the field personnel and players.
Because we had a thin stretch the last 10 years of
exactly. Exactly right. This is a player year. Write this down. Roy Smalley will be named to the Twins Hall of Fame class for 2025. So he resigned from broadcasting. He has done a ton, like he has been around the team starting shortstop in the 79 All-Star game, 2 stints with the franchise, 87 World Series championship team, longtime broadcaster. I am guessing that when he decided to step down, that the Twins had said, hey, by the way, you've been voted into our Hall of Fame. So on Friday at the luncheon that Declan is going to attend, I think the name of Roy Smalley will be announced as a 2025 Hall of Fame class member for the Minnesota Twins.
Did you get a vote? Did you vote this year?
I do vote.
Did you vote for Roy Smalley?
I think I did. Yeah. Yeah. The player list is not
interesting.
The player list is not great.
You're telling me
I need everyone else to vote for him, though.
That in a process in which you have direct influence,
I have one vote.
That you are on the inside. You participate in the process.
But he is not in yet. I participate in the process, but I am one man with one vote. Wow. I am one man with one vote.
They stopped mailing me. I had a vote for like 12 years, and am I too critical, or did they lose my address?
Well. I lost mine, and I actually asked to get a ballot back.
Oh, that's what I have to do to get mine. I just say I lost mine, and then they'll give me one.
Well, you cover the team directly. Like you should.
I'm sorry. I lost my vote entirely. Like I was on I got a ballot for like 3 years, right? And then it just stopped. I didn't get a ballot anymore. And I talked to him and I said, I'd really like a ballot. And so I got it back 2 years ago.
I think we're going to allow this because there are enough voters, but this is highly questionable.
No, it's not. It's not like I'm a one-man committee.
Voted for Roy Smalley as part of the process.
I don't know how many votes are out there. There's a ton of votes out there. The Twins Hall of Fame.
Boy, we may need to get lawyer
Plus,
Chase
he's not a
involved
slam
here.
dunk. He's not a slam dunk.
I knew there was going to be questions.
The broadcasting angle puts him in, I think, because he is recognizable to Twins fans, old and young. He deserves it, I think, personally, but I don't think it's questionable.
Okay.
I can sleep at night.
All right, Dex, over to you.
All right,
write this down.
I'll write this one down. The Timberwolves will have multiple players at the Rising Stars roster at All-Star Weekend.
Who do you think it's going to be?
I think Dillingham and Terrence Shannon Jr. So it's first and Terrence Shannon was drafted 2 drafts ago, right? So he's still
he was drafted this last year.
First round.
That's last year. Okay.
Later first round.
So I think it's probably them, but they'll have multiple players on the Rising Stars roster during All-Star Weekend.
Does Minot qualify?
I think it's like you got to be a rookie or a second-year player, and Minot's now third year, right?
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, like what the Dillingham, like he should be a member. I don't know what the precedent is for guys who like basically have not played to get into that game.
Yeah, me neither.
So,
I mean, Terrence Shannon averages like 45 points a game in the G League. So
it's great. It's hilarious. Yeah, but he's not good enough to crack this
G League All-Star.
Timberwolves roster.
Terrence Shannon.
Write this down.
Yes. Him and Ant will go crazy.
Okay, write this down. The Mackeys will go out to eat on Friday night. The Mackeys will go out to eat on Friday night.
Your pettiness.
Well, no, wait. I get a vote, but I'm not the only vote. There's other people get a vote in that decision.
It's a 1-1 vote, though. I am an ant. I am a small ant in the Twins Hall of Fame process.
Highly questionable.
Write this down.
Okay, write this down. The Timberwolves will trade Julius Randle by the trade deadline for, I'm trying to phrase this the right way, expiring contracts and or draft picks. So what I want to say here is they're going to offload him, and they will take back things that also come off the books, and they will clear the runway for the Naz Reid contract and Nikhil contract.
Can I give some ridiculous speculation?
Oh, I'll give you some cover here too. Yeah.
Reckless speculation.
I think if Randall gets traded, he gets traded to the Nets, and we get Cam Johnson somehow. I don't know how many teams are going to be involved, but we get Cam Johnson. Gosh. I think Conley knows how good that guy is, and that's exactly what we need next to Ant. Because Julius, he can't shoot worth a darn. He literally can't right now. Give Cam Johnson, sit him out in the middle, and literally the starting lineup goes Dillingham. This is my ideal starting lineup: Dillingham, Ant, Cam Johnson, Naz, and Gobert. I think
Cam Johnson would be a perfect fit, and he's 28. The only thing is he's got, and I'm fine with this, but he's got 2 years left after this season. So you would then you might even have to move Jaden to make room, which actually I would be. If you swap Jaden, you swapped Jaden and Julius for Cam Johnson and the cap space to give Naz Reid and Nikhil Alexander-Walker bigger contracts.
Because I think if you trade Jaden in that scenario, like if it's a multi-team trade, I think we could get Cam Johnson and a first rounder for Jaden. Like Detroit has so many picks, and they need veteran players. They don't need picks right now. They need veterans. And I think if you could somehow flip Julius to the Nets and somehow get Jaden to the Detroit or something, I think he'd fit along in Detroit really well. I do think so, but like
just an 8-team trade, 27 players.
Did you see?
I want Cam Johnson so bad.
So we had one of the weirdest. It's a setup trade, but the Suns traded a future unprotected first-round pick in 2031 to the Jazz for 3 first-round picks. What? And the logic was twofold. The Suns need more first-round picks to give to the Heat and or other teams to facilitate a Butler trade. True. And the Jazz are basically saying, well, we'll take your 2031 unprotected because you guys are going to be terrible in 2031 at the rate you're going with all these aging players. But I think it was Shams or one of the NBA insiders said that this is the first step to facilitating a Jimmy Butler trade, but it's going to have to be at least 3 or 4 teams, maybe more. So you might wind up getting like a 4 or 5 team trade to get Butler to the Suns, and that might be how the Wolves get involved with like Julius Randle routing somewhere.
Is Butler worth it this much trouble at this point?
If you're the desperate Suns and you are, because think about the answer is probably no, but you've got Durant at sort of the end of his dominance and Booker, and you're spending the most money of any team in the league. You're into the second apron. And you're trying to make this work and get in and make a run. I'm not saying it's going to work, but it's the next logical step. Is like, all right,
This is going to be the Ishbia twins, just throwing money away, making crazy trades.
It'd be more fun, and people would show up. People would buy tickets.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying I would love this chaos.
I think Butler would like he'd be better on defense, but like that's about it. I don't think he'd produce much. I mean, he'd bring the dog mentality, but like...
Right, he'd try for a while.
He'd try, and then they'd fail, and then he'd be like, I want to get out of here again.
Yeah,
that's every spot. Okay, back to Nate and Wyatt. You guys go ahead with your next predictions here.
All right, here's our...
Joint prediction. Yep. It's a JJ...
Oh, wait, so this is your last one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, my bad. So we'll go around the room, and we'll play catch-up here. So, Judd, you guys go. Or, Judd, you go first.
All right, write this down. Speaking of the Wild... They will acquire Brock Nelson at the trade deadline or sign him as a free agent this offseason. Warroad kid, Islanders, he's a center. He's got some size. He is a really good fit. So now, if they acquire him at the deadline, they're going to need the Islanders to retain money, and you might have to give up more than you actually want. So there's a chance that they would just wait till free agency starts July 1st. But through one of those two avenues, Brock Nelson will be a member of the Wild.
The Wild.
Write this down.
Dex.
All right, write this down. At least one of Chris Paddock, Willie Castro, or Christian Vasquez will be traded before the Twins report to spring training. One of these guys will get moved before pitchers and catchers
Look at Phil thinking this through.
On February 13th.
I'm good.
They haven't done anything. They haven't done anything. So one of these guys will get moved. Anything.
Nothing.
Clip that, AJ. Anything. They haven't done anything. That. So one of those three, Paddock, at least one of those three, and Paddock, Castro, or Vasquez will be traded before February 13th.
Okay.
Write this down.
Okay, write this down. I know the Gopher basketball team is on a 2-game winning streak, and they win at Iowa last night.
Yep.
Really scary thing. The cheerleader guy who was doing like one of those runs where you flip up and around, they didn't show it. They threatened to show it. They were like, "Oh, we've got the footage, but
we're not going to show it, but we've got it."
He was like unconscious, and he was moving his extremities, but they literally had to stop the game for 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah,
and stretcher him off the court. Crazy. Anyways, St. Thomas, write this down. Will make the NCAA tournament before the Gophers do next. St. Thomas will make the NCAA tournament before the Gophers do next.
And they're eligible starting next season now, right? With the new rule? Okay.
They're going to have to win their conference tournament to get there. But I think it's going to happen.
Write this down.
Write it down.
Yeah.
Okay, now back to Nate and Wyatt for your final joint prediction here.
All right, so this one's a Vikings prediction. If he plays next year a full season, so means at least 13 games, just in case that knee somehow bugging him at the beginning of the year. Hopefully it's not. J.J. McCarthy will have a top 5 QB rating in the NFC.
Wow.
And it is a parlay or he will have multiple games, so at least 2 games where he throws 4 TDs or more.
Whoa.
Hold on a second here. Wait.
We're going
Cue
for
the
the
music.
wow.
Maestro.
Oh, wow.
Cue the music.
We're going
Let's
flag.
do it. Let's do it for him. We got the flag.
Woohoo!
You're going to come with that. I'm going to come with this.
Woohoo!
Love it, dude.
JJ.
I love it.
But it is and or. So like he could have horrible QB rating, but he has those games where he just goes.
That's a good trap door.
Hold on, I'm going to put
Yeah.
the flag away.
Hell yeah. 5 interceptions, 4 touchdowns,
love
just
it.
slinging it everywhere.
Love it.
Amazing.
Mullins 2.0, but better. Actually, don't. That's knock on wood. I'm not. No, you. No, thank you.
You guys rocked it with your predictions. You sprinkled in some reckless speculation. Since you've got this life-changing platform now, is there anyone you guys would like to thank that helped you get here?
His dad or uncle, or my uncle.
Yeah. He had some crazy takes in the offseason. He wanted us to get Bo Nix, but yeah.
Ugh,
I thought
no.
I'd give him a shout out.
He's hit his ceiling. Bo Nix has hit his ceiling. I'm saying it here. I think he hit his ceiling.
I thought he was going to be bad, and he was pretty damn good. So
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine.
But yeah,
He'll be better, though.
it was during the draft. It was funny because I was on the JJ train since like January last year, and like I kept telling him, guys, we want JJ McCarthy. We want JJ McCarthy. The kid's good. Because I listened to all of the Thor's Day, and I was like, I went and analyzed my own tape. I was like, this kid's good. It wasn't until the draft, but this kid was more on the JJ train after, like, during the draft than I was. It was so funny. He would like say, no, JJ, no. Both him and his dad were like that. And I'm like, JJ, we want JJ. So.
It's crazy when Thor came in around this time last year, where we were like just getting into mock draft season, and the Vikings are picking like whatever 10th or 11th, and we said, what if Vikings like traded back into the 20s and maybe reached for JJ McCarthy, and Thor's like, reach for JJ McCarthy. By the end of this process, that dude's going to be closer to the 3rd overall pick than a 2nd round pick, and he nailed it. So awesome job, you guys. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, that's
great work.
We'll do it again. Good luck with your predictions.
Yeah.
And happy Championship Sunday weekend here. Boys,
Hello.
before we make our final predictions.
There you go.
That was a lot of Judd right there
Lot
for
of
a
Judd.
second. I'm like, whoa.
Here's a lot more, Judd. Why don't you talk about MSP Plumbing and Heating here?
I would love to. I would absolutely love to. A 3-screen, a 1-screen.
Can we zoom in further even?
I don't care, because for over a century, families have relied on MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air for all their plumbing, drains, heating, and cooling needs. As a 100% family-owned and operated business, MSP is committed to taking care of your family, which is crucial this time of year. Of course, if the furnace starts to cough, if the furnace goes out, it has to get fixed. And guess what? MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air are going to fix it. Right now, get $50 off any HVAC or plumbing repair. Call 651-615-4292 or check them out. Call MSP.com. Call MSP.com to make sure that your house is nice and cozy. They will and are committed to making sure that is the case.
All right.
Write this down.
Back to Judd for your 3rd. And final
All right, write
prediction.
this down. Donte DiVincenzo will not play another regular season game for the Wolves this year. This season.
Yeah.
This season. He's got something torn in a toe. Last time I checked, his style of play, and it's just basketball to start off with, is not really one that's conducive to him coming back and playing. So I am going to guess that he is done for the regular season.
Yeah, it sounds like, the internet doctors are saying it's at least a 2-month injury, which puts you toward the end of March.
And he might need surgery, which would...
Yeah. It's bad.
Write this down.
All right, Dex.
All right. I will make another. I'm going to stack my Royal Rumble predictions. I made one last week, and I'm going to acknowledge my tribal chief. Write this down. Roman Reigns wins the men's Royal Rumble. So there's a lot of talk about Punk winning it, which I don't really want. Cena winning it, don't really want. I think it's set up too perfectly for Roman not to win this Rumble. So I'm acknowledging my tribal chief. Roman Reigns is my pick for the men's Royal Rumble.
Okay. Write it down. Curious to get Judd's pick here as we approach. Next weekend is the Royal Rumble, Judd. You got a week to prepare your takes,
now, is
do
Punk
your research.
liked now or not?
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a face.
Okay.
But he's kind of he's
cantankerous.
He rides the edge, and
now is he cantankerous in real life?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, because he strikes me as being cantankerous. It doesn't seem like an act.
Yeah, I mean, he literally he sued his best friend like 10 years ago.
Okay.
For they did a podcast together, kind of. But then what was the lawsuit about? I can't remember the exact nature, but he definitely sued his best friend like 10 years ago. So he's.
Write this down.
I think they settled.
I can't
remember exactly.
I don't know what happened there.
Or was it the other way? Did Colt sue Punk? I don't know. They had a big falling out.
But he is
Punk got
cantankerous in
pissed.
real life.
Yeah.
Yes, totally is. Okay, write this down.
Write this down.
I'm kind of pushing these out. Max Brosmer will either start a game in the is it the XFL or the UFL? What are they calling it
UFL now.
The UFL?
Yep.
He'll either start a game in the UFL this season or will be in an NFL camp before week 1.
Okay.
I think he's going to impress here. Senior Bowl.
Or just be a
Max
camp
Brosmer.
arm. For sure.
Yep. Either way. I'll
some
push
reps,
this one out. Hopefully I get a
Write this down.
a W on that. All right, those are your write that down predictions. The season and the drama are coming to a head here.
Put him in the Hall of Fame. Come on, Twins.
We've opened a new door here. Now we can apparently put predictions out where we have direct influence. This is great. Curious
Roy
to
is
see
a
what
friend
Lawyer
of the
Chase
show,
has to
man.
say.
Roy was a weekly guest. I loved Roy.
I love Roy too.
Great baseball.
That has
stuff. All I'm
nothing
doing
to
is,
do-
but all I'm doing is rooting for a guy I like a lot. Okay.
And stretching the boundaries of the rules of write that down. But all right, we'll see
sleep
what
at night.
happens in the next 2 weeks. Minnesota
fine
Sports
at
with Mackie and Judd.
Like a baby.